Beast is the live-action adaptation of Beauty and the Beast. And this is another live-action adaptation of a Disney classic. We have Maleficent, Cinderella, and now we have Beauty and the Beast. And how did this one turn out? Right off the bat, I think Emma Watson is a great choice to play Belle. Yes, she's not the best singer on the block, but I think that her performance more than makes up for the shortcomings in her singing voice, and she's certainly not bad at singing. She does hold her own on these songs. She does them justice. She does not ruin the memory of these songs. Production design on this film is gorgeous. Disney really put the money into this one. The costumes, the sets, everything is lavish. It's colorful. It's beautiful. I loved looking at this movie. Everything was just so vibrant and wonderful to look at. I think that most of the set pieces here work. I think that the Be Our Guest section of the film is absolutely just stunning and jaw-dropping. I think the CGI actually is seamless, and the voice cast here is also very good, I must mention. Ewan McGregor is Lumiere. Ian McKellen is Cogsworth. There's just a lot of great vocal talent here, as well as the actors who are also physically there. My favorite part of this film, though, is hands down Luke Evans as Gaston. He brought energy to this movie that was unmatched by anybody else in this cast. And I've always been a big fan of Luke Evans. I loved his performance as Bard the Bozeman in the Hobbit movies. Yes, those movies aren't the best, but he was fantastic in them. And I think that he really was just out-acting almost everybody in this film, which is very impressive when you have the likes of Emma Watson and Ewan McGregor and Ian McKellen in a film. And I think that most of these elements come together to create a good film. This is a good film. But I say this without emotion, because this film is far from great. And I will tell you why. This movie has no justification to exist. This movie does not justify its existence as a live-action film. The great thing about the Cinderella movie, and why I loved that movie, is that the Cinderella movie added elements to it that recontextualized the movie, the original movie, in this live-action version that was able to create something new, something fresh. Even though it wasn't a major change, it was able to make the romance between the prince and Cinderella feel more real, feel like a more fleshed out romance. And in this film, they try to do that. They really do. They add new songs, they add some different plot points, but none of these things add to the film. They don't add to anything. They don't recontextualize anything. For a minute, there were some script things I thought were going to lead this film down to a different road. It was going to lead this film to that area, but then it completely abandoned that. And the new songs are all terrible. None of them are as good as any of the classic songs. Some are passable, but considering the fact that we're talking about this material, they just can't fly as passable songs. And there's one that the Beast sings that is so god-awful, and I couldn't even understand what he was saying half the time, and it just was completely out of place with the rest of this movie. And these changes just don't make me think this movie has to exist. The Cinderella movie was so great because it surprised me in that way. And that's why I was excited for this version, because I was thinking they were going to do the same thing. And they just failed at it. They failed miserably at it. And it's a shame, because it seems like the players here, the people involved in the individual aspects of this film, were ready to play ball. They all brought it. Like I said, the performances are solid. The production design is beautiful. The directing, for the most part, is very well done. I think that it's fluid, it's smooth, it doesn't feel off. Even the pacing is fine. Luke Evans is fantastic as Gaston. However, a movie that doesn't need to exist and doesn't justify its existence has this gulf within me. And without any kind of justification, I can't co-sign this movie. It's the same way I felt about American Sniper, but to a very lesser extent, because this is a much better movie than American Sniper. And I think that this movie just doesn't have the pitfalls that American Sniper has, but it's that same idea. Yes, I can appreciate it as a technically well put together film. However, it has other problems that makes it a not enjoyable movie. And while Beauty and the Beast I think is enjoyable in the moment, the more I think about this movie, the more I don't really think that it succeeded in what it was going for. And I don't really enjoy the film. I don't really think about the film. It's very forgettable. And that's a shame because Disney has really been trying with these live action remakes, and the Cinderella movie was so great. This movie was a big disappointment for me. It's not bad. I'm still going to give it a B, but it could have been so much more, and it just wasn't. What do you all think of the Beauty and the Beast? I'm sure most of you disagree. People seem to be loving this version of this, and personally, I don't know why. But comment below, tell me what you thought. Also, like this video if you liked it, and subscribe to this channel if you want to get more great movie reviews like this one. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.